As soon as I get a handle on what's, coming for me, and it will be coming for me.
Erika Jayne's life is falling apart before our eyes. Andy Cohen petitions to free Britney. And is Cynthia Bailey leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta? We have lots of Bravo news to discuss, so welcome back to another Share News from Home. We've got all the details you need to know on everything Bravo. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and I'm joined today by Morgan Wright, and we are here to break down everything going on in the Bravo universe. Morgan, are you ready to get into the tea? It's been a pretty busy week, hasn't it?
I'm ready, but first I want to say happy birthday to the one and only Zachary Reality. I feel like, Zach, it is totally on brand for us to discuss all things Bravo as your birthday present. Would you really want to be doing anything else on your birthday?
Thank you, Morgan. Literally, there is nothing else I would rather be doing. I feel so lucky to be able to have a job where I can just talk about my reality TV, because that's what we do when we're not even filming anyway. Like, we met on TikTok. Yep. We've been friends for a while. We talk about reality TV off camera and on camera. So yes, there's truly nothing else I would rather be doing than dishing on the Housewives. So let's get into this, and let's start with Beverly Hills, our favorite Housewives franchise. Because Kyle and Dorit have sat down once again to hash things out after their big blow up on the private plane back from Lake Tahoe.
Sorry, I just had one thing I wanted to say.
This was their second sit down since the trip, where they tried to hash things out after the election party that didn't go too well. But this time, Dorit and Kyle were able to understand each other at Sutton's tea party. Kyle wanted Dorit to acknowledge that she was long-winded, which Garcelle also agreed.
We all love you and you're long-winded in your conversations, but I think it's because you want to get... She's long-winded.
Oh, you were?
Yes.
Kathy talks in shorthand.
I love a good shorthand.
And Dorit just wants Kyle to stop interrupting her. The two kind of talked about later in the episode and on Watch What Happens Live that they have a sister relationship. And Crystal even described their fight as trivial, which means of little importance. Morgan, do you kind of agree? How deep is this fight truly?
Yeah, I don't think it's that deep at all. And I totally agree. They have such a sister relationship where in 1 second they could be ripping each other's heads off. And in the next second, they're like, oh, can I borrow that outfit? I mean, I have an older sister, and that is 100% how we operate at all times. A very small thing can set us off. We'll be mad at each other for a day. And then it's like, who really cares? What were we even fighting about to begin with? But I loved being able to see the progression of Kyle and Dorit's friendship throughout the seasons.
I'm hyper aware of you saying, don't cut me off. Hopefully, we don't let this happen again because you're too important to me.
Well, I feel the same way, and I will be very aware and to make sure that I don't dominate the conversation. I'm glad Kyle is taking a deep breath.
And currently, they're one of my favorite duos. Zach, what about you? What do you think about them?
No, I love their friendship also. And I actually love when they fight because it's never serious. Like, they're fighting over the dumbest things ever. I can't even take them seriously when they're fighting. They're like, you talk too much. Well, you interrupt me. It's just so stupid. It's like nothing like all the other fights we see on the show. Like, it's just not that serious, but it's fun for entertainment. But another one of the fights that is going on Beverly Hills that is still going on is Sutton and Crystal. And we have a little look at this fight. So let's take a sneak peek.
This is Crystal's coat. And you know what I'm going to go do? Bring it up.
So Sutton came in my room. I was like butt naked, and then I dropped to the ground. Like, it was really creepy.
Sutton and Crystal also have yet again tried to sit down to have another conversation since their fight in Tahoe. Crystal expressed to Kyle that she felt violated after Sutton went into her room in the middle of the night to deliver her coat. Kyle told Sutton what she said, and Sutton felt like it was defamatory. The two sat down to hash things out and ultimately agreed to disagree.
I think it's very dangerous when we talk about each other behind each other's backs.
I agree. Like, I had promised you, and you promised me we wouldn't talk about this.
You didn't do your promise.
No, people keep bringing it up to me.
The ladies then went to the group to tell everyone that they've squashed the beef so that everyone can collectively move on. Morgan, do you think the other housewives, like maybe Kyle in particular, were kind of making this feud bigger than it was? Or is there an actual issue between Sutton and Crystal? And do you think we'll see this feud continue throughout the season?
I think Sutton and Crystal are never going to get along. To be quite honest, I just think they speak two totally different languages. And no matter how hard one side tries to explain their thinking, the other side just is never going to get it. And I think because we're in episode, what, 4, maybe 5, and this is still going on, we're still hearing about it, just goes to show that they really can't let it go as much as they both want to. And I think it's going to be kind of like a snowball effect where in episodes to come, they might not be necessarily fighting about the coat or entering the room or the fight in Lake Tahoe, but I think they're going to be fighting about other things. I mean, we even saw in the next week teaser that they're at odds again. And this time we don't really know what for. You know, Sutton calls her a mean girl. Sutton then says, I'm getting angry. You don't want me to get angry. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of contention between the two of them pretty much for the whole entire season.
Well, we can't forget the infamous leather pants scene that we saw in the trailer where Sutton called her pants ugly, which we know is coming some point throughout the season.
You, Crystal, jealous of what? Your ugly leather pants?
So I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm enjoying this feud. It's definitely more serious and personal than the Kyle and Dorit feud, but it is just still just as much entertaining, if not more. But before we move on to Erika Jayne, I do want to ask you, because Kathy Hilton has become the most popular person on this show right now. This is a Kathy Hilton, like, stan everywhere. We are loving her Instagram lives where she is trying to figure out what a goat is, what a stan is. Are you loving Kathy Hilton this season as much as I am?
I'm obsessed. I think it's because she doesn't try too hard to be anybody but the person that she is. You know, a lot of times with the Housewives, you see them and they're coming in and they're playing a part. You know, they're like, oh, well, this is what the audience wants to see. They want to see my lavish lifestyle. They want to see these expensive clothes. And Kathy Hilton, I feel like, really just does not care. And her sense of humor is something that we haven't seen on the show before. She's got a very unique sense of humor. I think we can both agree. And I actually think that Kyle is better with Kathy. I know that you're a huge Kyle fan. And Kyle, I wasn't the biggest fan at the beginning, but she's grown on me throughout the seasons. And I do feel like she is a staple in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But I can't remember a season where I have loved Kyle as much as I am this, because I feel like Kathy makes her a little looser, makes her a little bit more fun. And we're getting to see another side of Kyle, even though she's been on this show for, 10 plus years.
Yeah, she's been on since the beginning. She is the last OG left on Beverly Hills. And honestly, she's only one of the last OGs left amongst all franchises. Besides Ramona and Teresa, there's not many housewives who are still on their seasons, on their show, who have been there since season 1. And Kathy and Kyle are definitely the duo we did not know we needed. Kathy is truly like nothing I expected. Like, obviously we all know her from being Paris Hilton's mom and just being Kathy Hilton, but I did not expect her to be so funny and goofy. So I am living for Kathy Hilton. We both love her. But someone who is going through a very rough time on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is Erika Jayne, and we are going to get all into it. What's the updates on Tom? These infamous gas station photos. Because Erika, she kind of showed up to the tea party. You know, Sutton was hosting this tea party. She kind of disappeared for a minute when the girls got back from Lake Tahoe because she filed for divorce. And Garcelle quickly pointed out in her confessionals that Erika didn't mention anything when she showed up and acted like everything was okay. Garcelle specifically said, don't you think you would mention to your friends you might be getting divorced? It all kind of seemed a little shady, and Erika sat down at the dinner table and began to open up to the ladies after, you know, a few minutes of sitting down, a glass of champagne.
I'll tell you guys this, I did not see it ending this way. I was going to hold that man's hand till he died.
And she really hasn't seen him much since. She didn't reveal too much, but
I drove him to work, and I told him I loved him. And he said, thanks, hon. Like I was an employee.
How much do you think Erika needs to open up to the ladies immediately? Because she is dealing with this in real time.
Yeah, well, I think that's about the extent that we're going to get from Erika, where it's just enough to keep us engaged, but not enough to actually know what's going on. I thought it was interesting that at the end of the episode, you know, they always kind of give us a teaser for next week. Erika wasn't in the teaser at all. So I don't know if maybe she took some time away from the group or whatever, but I really struggled watching Erika Jayne in this episode because as a longtime fan of hers, I mean, from the beginning, from the very first season that she was on, she was my favorite. Last season, I started to not like her as much just because I felt she was colder than normal, which I feel like is kind of a label that's thrown on her a lot. Um, but, it's very hard for me to believe what Erika is saying, And I think back to the first episode where she's in the convertible with Dory and they're talking about the pandemic and how it's changed their lives, okay? And do you remember she says, this has given Tom and I a chance to sit down and reconnect, talk at the dinner table. And then 5 episodes later, oh, he's not saying more than 2 words to me. We haven't been speaking for however many months. It's like, okay, well, which one is it? And I understand that, the other cast members say, Erika had to do it this way. She had to protect herself. She couldn't let us in. But now, because she has done that, we don't know what to believe. And she's a good liar because we believe everything that comes out of her mouth. So it's like, I have no idea what to believe. I am glad that we kind of got to see it, but I'm not 100% buying it. Are you?
I think Erika Jayne is kind of proving herself to be a little bit of a facade. She's not being super honest. You mentioned what happened in the first episode where she said her and Tom were all good. They weren't good. I think Erika was trying to hide this for as long as she possibly could, but we all knew her marriage was falling apart for a little bit. It never seemed super authentic. I feel like Garcelle is the only person that truly calls Erika out. A lot of the other women seem to be super loyal to her, but I hope that Erika can, be more vulnerable in episodes moving forward. And in last night's episode, she did move into her new home and she was setting things up with her assistant and her creative director, Mikey. And it looks like she actually is going through a very hard time. So part of me felt bad for her in a way because she seems like she is in a vulnerable position. But I also feel like she got herself in this position and she has not been herself lately. And we have not seen her in full glam lately. Morgan, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Before we get into that, I want to ask you one thing about the episode, Zach, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when Erika admitted that she filed for divorce on election day to kind of bury the media storm?
I filed on election day because I wanted it to get buried. I was thinking, this is great. This is the most important historic election in modern times. And this is going to be a blip on the radar and I will slide through and nobody will know.
I wasn't shocked because we all knew it, but I never expected her to admit that. What did you think?
I'm glad that she admitted that. I mean, it was so strategic. I think that she doesn't want this in the headlines, and that is the perfect day to announce that you're getting divorced or to file for a divorce, because once you file, it's public knowledge. So with all of the election hype, that was very strategic on her ends. I don't think she wanted it to be this media frenzy that it now is. It's been playing out in the press for 6-7 months. So I think she's really trying to keep it a low profile as much as possible, especially because she is being investigated. She was possibly involved more than she might be leading on or more than she will admit to. And I think she might try and play victim all season on the show and tell her storyline to get her out of trouble.
Yeah. So speaking of her being strategic, we have to talk about this gas station gate, if you will, gas pump gate, these photos of Erika Jayne that circulated on the internet this week. And I mean, once they were up, Zach, they were everywhere. So here we see Erika Jayne looking less expensive than normal. The internet went wild. I want to hear your thoughts when you first saw these pictures. What went through your mind?
Well, the internet went wild because Erika Jayne is famous for wearing glam and doing these over-the-top outfits. She doesn't leave the house unless she is wearing 10-inch heels, a wig, big lips, like everything. I've never seen Erika without her hairbrush, so I was shook. I also was shook that she pumped her own gas. I mean, this just doesn't seem like Erika. It looks like she is really going through a mess. I don't know how staged these photos were, and I know you have an opinion. I know we're going to get more into it, but it just seemed very off, and I don't know how staged or what the strategy behind this was. Like, how could anyone just find her at a random gas station?
I think this is 100% staged because, first and foremost, Erika knows all eyes are on her right now. She knows that she is in a lot of trouble. She is like at the center of attention for the Bravo universe. And anytime that she goes out anywhere, there are going to be pictures of her. Second of all, it looks like her assistant is standing behind her, right? That's what the internet is saying that girl is, her assistant with her. Truly, if Erika did not want to be seen in no glam, why wouldn't she just have her assistant get out of the car and pump the gas for her? I mean, celebrities have their assistants pump their gas all the time. So what is the assistant doing standing in the background watching Erika Jayne pump gas? I mean, is she teaching her how to pump gas? Has she never pumped gas before? I just find the whole thing very, very strange. And like she totally knew what she was doing. And a lot of people felt that it was staged to kind of gain sympathy, you know, oh, look at me. I don't have nearly as much as I used to have. I don't have my $40,000 a month glam squad. I mean, just so many opinions on the internet right now. And it didn't take Erika very long at all to clap back at the haters online. She tweeted, "Good night, Twitter. Please be in full glam when pumping gas." Apparently, it's a big deal. What do you think about this tweet? I'll ask you first. There are more, but we'll start with this one.
I think it's a really good tip. I think that she should be in full glam, and I recommend everyone listening to be in full glam when you pump your own gas. You never know who's watching you.
Exactly. Let's move on to the next one. It says, "Go be offended at your own life." And it's a gif of her, which I found a little jarring. What did you think about this tweet from Erika?
She's still being cold Erika. She's still clapping back at the haters. She's still clapping back at certain Bravo fan accounts that are coming for her. You know, she's just still has that guard up and that wall up. And it's like, we want to be able to feel for you. You've been on the show for a while. We want to be able to connect to you, but you're still not letting us. And you're almost making like the Bravo fans turn against you when we wanted to be in your corner and we could have supported you through this. But you're kind of just alienating all of the fans watching. And that's just it's not good for you because you're probably doing that with your real friends in real life too.
Yeah, I agree. And even in watching in last night's episode, that was the first time that we're getting any kind of emotion from her at all that isn't this cold-hearted, very hard, very guarded response, which is why I found myself very conflicted and like, okay, well, do I believe her? Do I not believe her? But then when you see that this is how she's acting in real time, it makes things a little harder to believe. Do you think she needed to say anything at all? I mean, I know we kind of discussed that this might hurt her. Did you think that she thought that through, or you think she was just ready to clap back at the haters?
I think it was nice that she acknowledged the tweet because it was like a big media frenzy. You know, there wasn't much going on that day. Everyone was tweeting about it, making memes. So I think it's cool that she kind of bounced back at it. I know she was trying to be funny, but I want to know how staged this picture was because you know it was staged, Erika. So next time she should just brush her hair at least.
Yeah, so let's talk about some other photos that went viral this weekend in the Bravo universe. We got to talk about our friends from Southern Charm because Austen, Craig, and Kristin were at it again, another reunion in Charleston, South Carolina. Also, Kristin's best friend Justin was there. Now, I want to kind of jog your memory because the first time we saw the four of them together was a very long time ago when all of the Madison drama kind of blew up, right? That's when this friendship kind of began. So the four of them were out together all weekend, partying, having fun. People are speculating if Kristin is seeing either Craig or Austen. They have been spending a lot of time together. Do you think that she's seeing one of them? And do you have like an opinion on which one you would want to see her dating?
I think it's very possible that she is open to seeing one of them. I think she spends a lot of time with them. I think reality stars kind of bond together, and there's not too many in the Nashville, Charleston area. So I think that's kind of how they connected. And I think it is very possible that she might be dating Craig over Austen. That is just what I think, but I feel like you are the Southern Charm expert here. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I listened to their podcast a really long time ago when Kristin was first on it. And that is something that they said, that they bonded immediately because of their shared experiences in reality TV, that not a lot of people get it. And they just were able to bond and form a friendship from there. Okay, so as far as who Kristin is spending time with romantically, I want to say Craig because I am the biggest Craig stan ever. And I just feel like he's bit more level-headed than Austen is. I feel like he's kind of got his life a little bit more together than Austen does. However, I think Kristin right now, coming off of her divorce from Jay, who she was with for 10 years, might just want a little bit of a fling, a little party time, something not as serious. And that makes me think that she might be spending more time with Austen because I feel like those are two very different avenues of relationships that she can go down. I mean, let's be honest, Craig hasn't been the most serious boyfriend in the world, but we have seen him in serious relationships when he was with Naomi for a long time. And Austen is just kind of more of a good time guy, you know, but who really knows? We do know that Kristin, she's a reality TV queen in her own right. Do you think with them spending all of this time together, and it has been a lot of time that they're spending together, that she'll make an appearance on Southern Charm?
I mean, I think it's very possible that she will make an appearance on Southern Charm. You know, her show just got canceled, very cavalieri. I think that she loved being on reality TV. That was a huge part of her life. We know she is going to be making an appearance this season on The Hills. So I don't see why not. Why wouldn't she if she's spending time with them and they have a genuine friendship? But another point I wanted to make back to what you were saying is that I feel like Jay and Kristin they've been broken up for a minute. It's been almost a year now. It's been a minute. So I think Kristin could be very much ready to move on and get into another serious relationship. And I think she might be testing the waters with Craig or Austen because they're spending a lot of time together and it might just be more than friends. So I would love to see her make an appearance in Southern Charm. And I would love to see her make an appearance on even Winter House. Like, why not have her get in on that too?
Yeah, and I mean, another clue that they might be spending more time together, Kristin teased that she was looking for a new Uncommon James location, maybe on King Street in South Carolina. As you can see from this photo, you know, it's an empty warehouse. She's got locations in Nashville, Chicago. I believe Dallas was next on the list, but King Street, South Carolina, I believe, is also where Craig's Sewing Down South business is located. So it's just, there's all of these webs that you want to weave. You want to think that these guys are like more connected than they actually are. But I feel like it is very possible, especially with all the drama that went down between Kristin and Madison. Now that Kristin isn't on Very Cavallari, maybe she will be the next cast member of Southern Charm. I don't know. Okay, enough conspiracy theories about Southern Charm. Zach, why don't you tell us some things that are going on with the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Well, there is a lot of drama going on in the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, there has been drama in Atlanta the past few months with everything that happened with Portia and Fallon. We know that Kenya and Cynthia went on All Stars, and now they are starting to cast and maybe film for the newest season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we may have an update that Cynthia Bailey might have hinted that she is leaving RHOA. The longtime peach holder has been on the Real Housewives of Atlanta since season 3, and just this week removed the RHOA title from her bio. Cynthia did just get married to Mike Hill on the show last year and has recently filmed the All Stars Housewives, which is coming to Peacock later this year. So do we think that Cynthia might be moving on to a new chapter in her life and might be ready to say goodbye?
I don't know. I mean, anytime that the cast goes through contract negotiations and it's not going well, we see they remove the Real Housewives of wherever they're from their bio. We've seen it with Ramona. We've seen it with Tiffany Moon whenever she decided not to come back. That's kind of like the first bat signal that they send out to Bravo fans. Like, I may not be coming back. So it might be one of those things where she's trying to negotiate more money. However, even before the last season ended, I heard that Cynthia might be thinking her time on the show has kind of come to an end. And I don't know that I would necessarily disagree with that. I love Cynthia. I think that she is so classy and beautiful, and I have really enjoyed watching her. But I feel like sometimes you just move into different phases of your life that's not really what the Real Housewives are about. You know what I mean? Like her moving into this harmonious marriage. It's her second marriage. It seems like her life has calmed down. And then you throw her in with people like LaToya and Drew, and it just kind of doesn't really make sense. So I don't know. I really do think that that might have been Cynthia's last season. What do you think?
I kind of agree. And I know a lot of people have been calling her boring the past couple of years. And I don't think Cynthia is boring by any means. I think she's just over the drama. And Atlanta has become one of the most dramatic shows out of all of the franchises. There is a lot of drama going on there, especially with LaToya, as you mentioned, and Portia. There's a lot of messiness going on. And it definitely seems like Cynthia is just too mature and maybe outgrew the franchise. But I will be looking forward to seeing her on Peacock later this year with the All Stars. And there's also been rumors that Portia is holding out on her contract. I don't even know what's going to happen with Portia if she's going to come back. There are rumors that she's doing that 3-episode spinoff with Bravo, as well as Kandi doing another 3-episode spinoff. So where do you think Atlanta goes moving forward? Because we should be getting some cast updates soon in the next few weeks.
I definitely think Portia knows her worth. She's going to be the star of the show moving forward into the next seasons because look at how much has happened while the cameras aren't rolling. I mean, she literally has a new fiance, someone who was married to one of her friends from the previous season, all this stuff that's been happening with Fallon. I mean, she knows that Portia's drama is going to be the moneymaker for the next season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So if I were Portia, I would be trying to get every dime I could from Bravo because she knows that it's going to be what people want to see. What do you think? I don't know. That's my only real prediction.
You know, I want to see Portia come back. She is one of my favorites on Atlanta. I want to see her holding the center peach. I want to see Drew back. I want to see LaToya back. I feel like Kenya and Kandi will end up coming back as well, and possibly Marlo. So I think it will be a great season of Atlanta. They always deliver, but I guess that will be up to Bravo and Father Andy himself to make those decisions. And Morgan, I think you have a little bit more information about what Father Andy has been saying recently on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, I mean, not really Bravo related, but of course, Father Andy had to give us his 2 cents on all the drama that's going on with Britney Spears and the Free Britney movement. He brought back Jackal of the Day to Watch What Happens Live, which we haven't seen in quite a long time, where he went in on Britney Spears' father, Jamie Spears. Let's take a quick look.
Tonight's Jackal goes to Britney Spears' father, Jamie Spears, who continues to have a death grip on Britney's life. And she certainly deserves a hell of a lot more than a low-rent mommy dearest in a boxy suit. And Jamie, if you want to make money in the future, I suggest you better work, bitch. Say it with me, audience. Free Britney!
I mean, wow, he did not hold anything back. What did you think about what Andy had to say about Free Britney and Jamie Spears?
I mean, Andy has a strong opinion. Andy loves Britney. He wants to free Britney. You know, he also had Kathy Hilton on the show and Crystal, who are also friends of Britney. They've known her for years, and they were also like, free Britney. Nikki Hilton was behind the bar. She was like, free Britney. Everyone at Bravo, everyone on Watch What Happens Live, all of the Bravo fans just want Britney to be free. And if anyone listened to the voice memo that came out on social media the other day, Britney's struggling right now and she doesn't feel like she's being treated fairly. So hashtag free Britney.
Yeah, I think we can all get behind Britney on that one, especially listening to everything she had to say. And I think it doesn't really matter that Britney isn't on a Bravo TV show. You know, we all want to rally behind her and we want to see her just do the best and live her best life.
Exactly. She's not on a Bravo TV show yet. She could end up on one, and we know that Andy would be down to make a show about the Spears. We would love to see it. So that is everything we have to share with you guys today. So let us know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think of the Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Austen and Craig of it all with Kristin, Atlanta rumors? Let us know. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell because we'll be back with more Bravo news. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, and I was joined today by Morgan Wright. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow and say hello. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.